Hello, Jennifer. I'm not really sure where I was born, but all I know is what I was told, that I was born in New Mexico. And I was brought into the world by midwife. And I grew up there and I was born pigeon-toed. What I mean by pigeon-toed, both of my feet were born like this. Okay. So they had me and they carried me in the hospital. They had a right shoe on my left foot and a left shoe on my right foot, and water cloth. I went in when I was 6 months old. I didn't come out till I was 2 years old. I was learning to walk. I broke from the bottle, broke from that and everything. But one time, my dad asked me to go chop wood. I was 7 years old. It was the dead of winter. And I was chopping wood. And when our father calls us 3 times, if you don't come on the first time, you don't come on the second time, and if you definitely don't come on the third time, he comes out either with a razor strap or a bullwhip, a cat of nine tail, and he will use it. I answered him the first. I said, "Okay, Dad, I'm coming." He called me again. I said, "Dad, I'm on my way." I pulled the splitter at the middle piece out. The wood started to fall. I grabbed it, picked it back up. He said, "If you don't come now, I'm coming out with either a razor strap or the bullwhip." So all I did was, whop! I didn't even feel it. So I ran up to the house. And he looked at me, I think I was wearing a white t-shirt. And he seen blood all over my shirt. He said, "Where did the blood come from?" I don't know. He looked, he took the shirt off, he took it here, you know. And then he noticed my hand. He said, "Where's your fingers, boy?" I don't know. "What you mean you don't know?" I said, "When you called me, I just went down with the axe, the hand axe, because he kept it razor sharp." So my fingers went, and they were gone. So all they did is, what little skin I had left, they just overlapped it. All 4 fingers. The first 2 joints are here, and the other 2 joints from the other fingers are gone. So I only have 2 joints left. 1 joint. Well, this one has a part of a joint, and this only has 1 joint, and this one only has 1 joint. So, and then I started getting in trouble when I was 8 years old, and I got locked up until I was 15. Then I didn't get re-locked up until I was 22. And they get out till I was 30. And then I started doing drugs and alcohol. And then I made myself upset. It's just that I didn't believe in the system. And you know, when I was little, I was walking down the street. I seen this cop. He was talking to some kids. He says, he's here to serve and protect them. I stopped, and I said, "Excuse me." He goes, "What?" I go, "Who you serving and who you protecting?" And he got angry. So I'd always run away from home. I mean, not run away from home. Family knew I took off, but I wouldn't show up for days. So I had that big running with him, and his partner said, "Let that boy go." I was still 7 years old. And a year later, after I had 28 years old, it was the same officer that arrested me and took me to juvenile hall. So I didn't say anything, as long as he didn't disrespect me, because I was taught to respect everyone and anybody. But if you disrespect me, I'm just going to be like an adult. I grew up hard and fast. I never had no childhood. I never knew what toys. I mean, I had toys when I was younger. But once I came out here in 1964, and I turned 7, I started working. I started making money for myself. And I've been working ever since. I'll come out. When I wasn't in jail, I was working in jail, and when I got out, I tried to work. And then the family, they put me on SSI and SSA, which they hurt me. I could have gotten a good job. So that's my life. Cutting grass, finding odd jobs, cutting grass, selling newspapers, babysitting, mainly cutting grass. You know, trying to make money any way I could. Not stealing it, just trying to earn it the right way. And every time I made money, I take it home and I give it to my mom. Any money I ever got, I always just gave it to mom. And she'd always give me 20 bucks, just for whatever I wanted. I knew my biological dad, but my mom, I thought she was my real mom. But come to find out, she was only my stepmom. And like I said in the beginning, I'm not sure if I really was born in New Mexico. I don't know where I really was born. But what my stepmom told me, that my mom, supposedly my biological mother, she drank. She was an alcoholic. And as a fact, my stepmother or stepmother, she didn't drink. And she only drank on holidays. Same way with my father. He wasn't a drinker. So how did I wind up being an alcoholic? And you can't say my uncles. No, my mother. So I just left that book alone because it's just best to leave it alone. So if it's not, I figured maybe it's best I don't know my real mom. Well, she's probably gone now anyway. So I never knew my grandfather or my grandmother and grandfather on my father's side. So my father one time, 2 different times, I stole money from him, and I knew that was wrong, but I took the beating. I literally took the beating. And he laid me on my stomach for a solid year. CBS in Arizona, they wanted to take me away from my father, and I cussed them out. I said, I'm not going nowhere, and you ain't going to make it. And you ain't putting my father in jail. I was the one in the wrong. Okay, his temper got the best of him, and he got carried away. Understood. But then something else happened. Money was took, and the other person wouldn't stand up for it, for what he done. So my dad came to me and I said, do you know anything about it? And at first I didn't say anything. And then I looked at the other person and figured he would speak. He didn't speak. I said, Dad, I took it. So I took his beating again. My father laid me on my stomach for another year because somebody else wouldn't speak. When, wasn't man enough young man enough to tell him the truth because he didn't want the beating. So he allowed me to take the beating, and I took it. But after I took the beating, I got a frying pan and I cracked him in the head. He's still alive, but I cracked him in the head with an iron skillet.
Who?
My stepbrother. I cracked him in the head. I was going to crack him right across the face. Break every bone in his face, but I didn't. I hit him in the back of the head and knocked him out.
What do you mean that your father laid you on your stomach for a complete year? What does that mean?
I have bruises from the back of my neck to the back of my legs. And like I said, CBS, they wanted to take me away from my life. Don't even go there. Because you're going to see one raging bull, a little raging bull. I'm just like my father. I'm wiry and stocky, and I don't know my strength. Because if I hit something or someone, I'll break their bones. And I don't want to. But if you put me at that point, then I gotta do what I gotta do. And then I gotta suffer the consequences. Because I don't let people walk all over me like I used to. Now that I've gotten older, I don't let people walk all over me. And I'm not going to start it, and I'm not going to start it anymore. I'm going to start standing up for myself. It doesn't matter who you are or what you are. If you walk on me, you're walking in death. And I'm sorry to say it in that way, but that's the only way I can say it. I don't want to hurt you, but I'm not going to let anybody hurt me. And then the very first job I had was at the Olympic Auditorium in LA. And I was making good money. But problems started creating, so instead of making them escalate, I walked away. It's just been one thing after another. So I'm gonna push my buttons to a certain point, and I'll go off, and I'll black out. And when I come to, I don't know. I don't remember what I've done. But then I know that I'm sitting in the back of a squad car. So I have a long fuse, but when you light it, and it's like that, and I black out, I don't know what I've done. And all I know, when I come to, all I remember is I'm going in a police car. They're carrying me out like a dog, belly up. So they can't walk. They can't even hold me. Once I'm in a complete rage, cops can't handle me. Not one, not 10 of them. That's to be like almost, I mean, they really gotta be buff. They can't handle me. Because of the adrenaline so built up. I mean, the rage, it's like the beast coming out of me. And the rage is so high intense. Nobody can hold me. Nobody can really, they gotta tackle me and put their knee in my lap. And they pick me up and carry me like a dog. And that's what my life is. I've had a hard life. I mean, I have to walk on pins and needles because if I go off, I go back to jail. So, and I'm not looking to want to go back. Because they tried to kill me on the inside in prison and in juvenile home because they wanted to keep this closed. Because anything that came out of my mouth, I was speaking the truth. The system is so corrupt. They didn't want to hear somebody like me. They wanted to shut me up. And it didn't work. I walked out and walked away. That's why I'm no longer allowed to go in the city of LA or Pasadena. I've been there, but I'm not creating no problems. And the cops see me, but as long as I'm not committing any crime or I'm not getting in a verbal conversation with them, they can't touch me. And that's what they do. But they prefer to not be in LA County or Pasadena. They could have banned me from California, period. But they didn't, so here I am, and that's it. That's my story.
Do you feel that you were talking about your fuse that gets you, things that get you hot? Do you feel that you've mellowed out a little bit as you've gotten older?
To a certain point, when someone is, trying to anger me or someone's trying to push that, they're trying to figure out what button to set me off. Well, I've gotten mad, but not where I've gone into a complete rage and I black out and I haven't put my hands on no one. It's almost since I got out from got out of jail. And I've only been out since '89. So, I just, I don't want to get angry, but if you're going to push my buttons, you're going to try and torment me or aggravate me, and if you get me to that point, my hands will be on your throat. And if I back out, I don't know if I killed you or maimed you. because I don't know my own strength. I'm like my father, naturally stocky and wiry, silent and deadly. When I go silent and I get angry, and it just keeps building and building till it feels like my head getting ready to explode. The only one who could calm me down was my father. He would just lay his hand on my shoulder and squeeze it, and I would be calm. But, when I went to prison, someone stuck me with this knife. I was walking in LA and minding my own business. And this woman was hollering. And I turned around downtown on 7th and Broadway, where everybody is, all the shopping, whatever. I mean, it's crowded back down there. I heard a woman screaming, and I turned my head like this, and I looked, and the woman's pointing like this. He stole my purse, he stole my purse. And I didn't see him, because there was so many people. So I turned around and I started walking. I get to the crosswalk, go to the other side. I get to the other side, all of a sudden I feel somebody's hand on the back of my pocket. So I went like this, I grabbed my pocket. When I did that, he stuck me here. I went like that, just like that, and I turned around and I looked down, there's a knife sticking in me. So I pulled it out. When he got past me, I turned him around, and I went like this, with his own knife. Then that was back in the 70s. I mean, no, 72 or 73. But Social Security said that they've been my legal guardian since 74, so it must have been 74. So when I did that, they took me to jail. He went to the hospital. And I was so irate, so enraged. But at first I wasn't going to come because I was in a lot of pain. But I now went like this. My arm was like this, covering up the hole. I never showed it. And then when they got me downtown, when I was getting ready to lock, give me a shower, whatever, they seen the blood. He said, what happened? I said, don't worry about it. I'll take my shower and leave it alone. He said, well, you got a hole. I said, you know what, leave me alone. Because if you don't quit talking to me, I'm going to put my hand on your throat and I'll rip it out. All of a sudden, he called the cops. He said, I threatened you. I said, well, there's blood on me. I must have sprayed myself somewhere. It's okay. But there was a hole. There was a hole about that big. A little bit bigger than a quarter. And I had my arm there. I had it covered up. And by that time, it was all dry blood. So I was wetting the t-shirt before I actually got in the shower, so I wouldn't be pulling it from my skin. So I wet my t-shirt and I got it off. I washed it off, put a t-shirt, the jumper and everything, and I went on. And the cop said, are you still bleeding? I said, no. But from the time I went in, and I told the judge what I told him, because at that time there was no self-defense. They didn't have it. So I got screwed in the process. I did time, and then if I wouldn't have said what I said to the judge, I probably would have got less time. But what I told the judge, I got more time. And longer on parole, parole and then parole probation and parole probation summary. And my stepmom was my legal guardian, so she had to fill out the paperwork. But since she's gone, I'm off. I got off in 2004, but I got screwed. So, if back in the 70s, if they would have helped defense, I don't think I would have went to jail, because he stuck me. And I just turned around and was defending myself. But they took me instead of him. Because I've come to find out, he was a mama's boy. He was one of them rich snobs. He's going around doing whatever he wants, you know, and not having to pay the consequences, not having to go to jail. So when he met me, you know, he met his maker, but through his stupidity and not doing what I figured not what the doctor told him to do, he died. But they didn't charge me with his death. He got whatever infection or whatever. But his family wanted they wanted the judge to crucify me. He wanted to give me life. They wanted me to have life. You understand? But the judge told me if I ever got arrested back in LA, no matter for what, I'd wind up doing 25 to life. 3 meals in a cot. Either a pot to put water in and throw it out a window. It's 3 meals in a cot. So I've been trying to maintain and stay calm, but it's very hard. And one elderly gentleman told me, he said, "You're gonna go home." But he said, if you wind up back in jail, and you wind up getting sentenced in prison, we're gonna make sure you come back to the same prison, and you're gonna be my cellmate. When you walk in that cell, he told me he was gonna take me out, and I have not been back in jail. Thanks to God, knock on wood. And then he didn't scare me, but he was telling me doing a scare, you know, make sure I stayed out, and I have. I mean, I've done a lot of bullshit, but not where I hurt someone. It's just I was hurting myself. In the process, I hurt myself worse than what I thought. Thinking the wrong, oh, okay, I'm okay, I mean, I do this, I do that, it ain't gonna bother me. Come to find out, it did more harm to me than when I shouldn't have did it. So, that's my story.
Can you tell me about your tattoos, maybe, and what they represent?
You really want to know?
Yeah, if you don't mind talking about it. If you don't want to, that's fine.
Well, yeah, it won't hurt. I belong to the Hells Angels, and when I was in prison, this here is a girl. That's me, and this is Annie Villa. This is my ex-fiance. I'm not gonna go there because that's too many bad memories there, so I'll leave that alone. This represents lowriders. There's lowrider on it. And I used to watch down in East LA on Whittier Boulevard. I used to watch the lowriders, you know, cruise, and they make their cars go up and down. And these here are the things, the skulls you see. The skulls you see here on the side is what I had to stay alive in prison. And the young lady's face, it reminds me of her. And the V, it looks like a V, but it's a V. Via. And then this here, it says Harley Davidson. It represents the Hells Angels. And this is my nickname, Angel. Or they all call me Little D. So when I was in LA, they called me, I took it as a joke, but then I asked one of the elders. They used to call me Al Capone Jr. because I used to wear, you know, the zoot suits. I mean, I used to wear the suits. And I did what I had to do to make money. You know, I helped out the families. But I didn't hurt no one, I didn't kill no one. I just did what I just had to collect. And they paid their debts. And I took it back to the families. And when they didn't pay, then I just took it back to the family. I could have dealt with it, but then I'd be putting myself back in jeopardy. So I didn't do it, so they took care of it. I mean, a lot of things I ain't gonna say, but I can't. Because I don't want the family members coming after me.
Tell me a little bit more about, you talked about blacking out. When was the last time you had one of those blackout episodes?
Oh God, it's been years. Well, I think maybe because when I was doing that, it's because I was doing drugs and I was doing alcohol. And they say you never give an Indian fire water. And when he gets mad, he goes like a raging bull. The bull comes out, or the bear. Because it's like somebody being on PCP. The rage is so bad, so intense. It's like the whole body's on fire. And they just want to reach out and whoever's the closest, that bear is going to attack. And they're going to destroy it. And when he calmed down, he doesn't remember. It's a total blackout. But when they come around, they don't remember what they've done until it's too late, until it comes to really calming down and getting their thoughts straight. They're sitting in jail. And they don't know what they've done because they've gotten so deeply so angry and like I said, like a raging bull or a bear, because you know when a bear attacks, when a bear gets mad, it's just like a mother cub protecting their young ones. Well, it's the same similarity, is that bear is trying to protect himself, and whoever else is, have anybody else in danger, that bear will attack, and they will destroy it. And that's how I am. Because I believe in my Indian heritage. Once I was told I was half Sioux, I believe in my Indian culture.
So, were you doing PCP?
Yeah, I did it. But yeah, I was, but then when I calmed down, I got mad one time, and I got so angry. It's a thanks to God that my dad was still alive, that he put his hand on my shoulder, because there was a man a little bit shorter than he was, kind of half stocky. He was aggravated and tormenting me. And this other guy told him, he said, you better leave that little man alone, because he's going to hurt you. And I guess I had a few beers, and I smoked, some weed, but I didn't know it had been dead. So I smoked it. The guy kept poking me. So I said, look, why are you poking me? Do you know me? I don't know you. Stop poking me. And I only told him one time. I told him, I said, if I tell you again, that's it, it's over. It's either me or you. And it's gonna be you. So he just kept it up. So I turned around, and I grabbed the bottle, a beer bottle. I hit him dead in his face. And blood gushing all out of the side of his face. So they knew my family, and they went and brought my father over. And my dad looks at the guy, and he looks at me, and I'm still enraged. All of a sudden, I felt my dad's hand on my right shoulder, squeezing my shoulder. He kept squeezing it until I calmed down. And then the cops were calling, they could have took me in, because they used a weapon. But I kept telling him, I said, look, he kept poking me, and everybody saw it. That time I had witnessed. The first time I didn't. So, I lost it. But I could have killed him, but I didn't. Something stopped me. I have scoliosis, I have diabetes, and I have cirrhosis of the liver, a type of a cancer. If I let him operate on me, I'm gone. So I'm not having no more so slowly I'm dying. And every time I get in that mode, when I got my hand, get ready to put my hand onto his shoulder, it's like somebody's hand grabbing my arm and pulling it down. I mean, just holding it there and not letting me move my arm or arm. I quit, I calm down, and I walk away. Now when somebody makes me angry, I walk away. Or I don't say anything. I say what I say to a certain extent, but then I walk away, or I get quiet. And if they keep persisting, it just builds that rage in me, and my voice, my pitch of my voice gets higher. The more angry I get, the higher pitch my voice gets, and it gets deeper. Because I got kind of angry yesterday, and I said what I had to say, and I got quiet. But the person didn't keep gnawing at me, because I warned him. I said, I said what I had to say, you had to say what you said. I'll say no more to me. But if he would have kept up and kept building my rage, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have hurt him and I'd have went to jail. But other people kept saying it's not worth it. You did what you did, you walked away, you didn't say anymore. But I'm not gonna let people walk on me, walk all over me. Think I'm a pushover. I'm not. I'm silently deadly. I don't want to hurt nobody, and they're not gonna hurt me. They're not gonna keep aggravating me and tormenting me, and I let them get away with it. I stand up for who I am, because I'm a man. You treat me like a man, you treat me like a human being. This is the same way you would want to be treated, with respect. It's the same in turn. I respect you, you respect me. Like I was brought up. I was brought up to respect anybody and everybody. Age didn't matter. But if you disrespect someone, you expect them to get an ass whooping. And that's been my release ever since I was taught that. I was taught it through my folks, and I was taught more of it in prison. If you're going to do the crime, you're expected to do the time. But if you don't want to go to prison, don't do the crime. Because prison is not a playground. It's prison. It's hard. They treat you like animals. They kick you down. I'm not talking about the inmate. I'm talking about the bulls. If you don't do what they say, sometimes they beat on you, and then they throw you in the hole. The system is so corrupt. Back when I was locked up, and prisoners, I can't say they're innocent or they're not innocent. They say they are, but that's between them and God. But if you were innocent, then you wouldn't be in prison. So, my advice to the young bucks today: prison is not a playground. Prison can kill you. I mean, the streets out here in the streets, they will kill you. But if you go to prison, whatever the crime you do, you will pay. Because once you're sentenced, they already know your jacket, and whatever it is, be expected to pay the consequences. Because if you hurt one family member that's already locked up, they're going to get you, and they will retaliate. So I'm just saying, if you're going to do the crime, you're going to do the time. If you don't want to do the crime, don't do the time. Because it's just time. You don't want to lose. Time is precious. But if you break man's law, you're going to pay prison law. And that's the inmate's law. And I'm not saying, I'm not really gonna say too much because it's wrong. I can't go there anyway. So that's my message to the young bucks, or anybody that's listening, that when they see this tape, prison's not good. It's not good. It's hard, and you die. We can easily die in prison as much as you can die on the streets, but it's a lot quicker in prison. If you hurt someone, like I said, if you hurt someone and somebody else is family member that's already locked up, they're already going to know, because the family will tell them. And then when you get in there, they're going to take you out. Because it's an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So again, that's the argument. You take out my brother, and you take out my father, I'm going to take you out. And I'm going to take your father out. That's where he is. And that's my story by Harold Brooks.
And action. Cut.